I'd like to talk about something. Something happened this afternoon that I have to talk about because it needs to be avoided and it really disrupts the class. And it was very difficult. I mean, people emailed me, they have a friend who wants to come to the class. And I said, they were showing the exercise. I said, no problem. Well, they came to the class and they're sitting in a room with 7 other people walking in the background, talking, dogs barking, and et cetera, et cetera. And it really disrupts the class. I mean, you have to find a quiet room, no people there, no talking, no dogs, no cats, and just, so that it is a respect for what we're doing here, that you really, make an environment that really works so that everybody can truly benefit from the meditation without people being disrupted by background noise and by other people talking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think this is really important. And another important thing, which I'm happy to see, is people have to light themselves well, because a lot of people, now right now, everybody is really well lit, and that's terrific. But often people are sitting in the dark and it's hard to even see their faces. So all of this works to just make the class that much more deeper, more open, less distractions, and people truly respecting. Although I know we're not in a meditation hall, we're not in a temple, everybody is in their own little private temple at home, and it's much easier to get distracted when you're not, sitting in a meditation room with other people. So please try to understand how important it is, to sit still, to open, to be well lighted, to, just make this class into something sacred, that it's something really sacred. I mean, this class is like priceless, what goes on in this class. And I am just so grateful to be part of it and to be, available to do this thing. And I'm just, have a lot of gratitude that the universe provided this in probably one of the most difficult periods I can ever remember in my life, with all this COVID going on and all this stuff happening, in the world. So let's be grateful and let's really, even we're doing it on Zoom, let's do it at the highest possible level that we can possibly do it so that it makes it something really, incredible for everybody. So we'll have a meditation, and afterwards, if anyone has a question, I would be happy to try and answer the question. If anyone has a question, I'd be happy to try and answer. Please try and sit still, everyone.
Hi, Stuart. I have a question.
Yes.
Can you please talk about speaking our truth and when it's appropriate to do so versus just letting it go?
Please try and sit up and do the, Flavio, try and sit up and do the meditation, please. Hello? If you're moving like that, it disrupts the class. Thank you. Everybody's truth is different, Paula. Everybody's truth has a different manifestation in reality. So I'm not exactly sure. To me, the only truth is a connection with spirit. And that connection with spirit enables one to look at the world and to see what's real, what's not real, the kind of choices you want to make in life, the way you want to live your life. And if that's what you mean by keeping your truth, you can only do that if you're connected with God. Otherwise, that energy is not going to come to you. So again, we get back to the development of an inner life that's strong enough to stay connected with higher energy in the universe, And that energy will give us a much deeper sense of what's real in the world, what's an illusion in the world. And honestly, the exact same thing that's an illusion can be something real, depending upon one's consciousness and how one uses it. So it's hard to define what truth is. I don't know what truth is. All I know is that if I stay connected to higher energy in the universe, I keep my heart open, I'm balanced inside, that energy is flowing through my system. It enables me to make choices in my life. And some of the choices I don't like, but they have to be made in order for me to continue growing inside myself. And that to me is the only real consideration. And I think that's truth, you know, surrendering to God, surrendering to higher energy in the universe, letting that energy flow through your system, and ultimately allowing higher energy to guide your life and not your mind, your ego, your thoughts about what you think is right or wrong in the world, your belief system, which, billions of people are going to disagree with, and yet they believe what they believe is true. You understand? But if you really open and allow higher at God, certainly there's no, everything is, life is. Life is a manifestation. Everything in life is a manifestation of God. And it gets back to the thing I talk about all the time. Everything in life becomes your teacher. And you embrace your teacher. It doesn't matter what religion it is. It doesn't matter what race it is. It doesn't matter if it's rich or poor. It doesn't matter if it's a church mouse or if it's, living, in some penthouse somewhere, it's all one's teacher. And it can only be your teacher if you are connected to higher energy and you're allowing that energy to flow through you so that you see the world that way. To me, I don't know how to define truth, but I think truth is a living expression of one's connection with higher energy or God or whatever you want to call it in the universe. And if one has that connection, you understand, you'll live not your truth, but God's truth, which is a manifestation that you suddenly discover that life itself is a temple. Life itself is sacred in all its manifestations. And none of us are in the position to pick out what's right or wrong or good or bad, who knows, But we're in the position to have compassion for the suffering of human beings. You understand? To really have an open heart and empathy with the pain that people have to go through to live through any given day. Not to judge them, but to be compassionate. So the ego, the mind, our opinions, what we think, the dogma, the this, none of it interferes with what about living a truth based upon our connection with God. Higher energy is determining the way we live, not our minds, which are constantly creating problems and trouble for people.
Thank you, Stuart. That was such a beautiful explanation.
You're welcome, Paula. God bless you.
Thank you.
Live the truth of God, not the truth in your head. It'll just get you into too much trouble, the truth in your head. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I do, Stuart. Could you speak to discernment around that truth, to separate the pretense from the truth, or discernment itself?
If you do what I just spent 10 minutes explaining, if you do it, you'll discern. You'll discern. if you allow spirit, higher energy to guide your life, you will have such an extraordinary capacity to discern in your everyday life that you never dreamed of being that conscious, that conscious of way of living in the world. I mean it. You'll have no problems discerning bullshit from what's real, because it's not your mind which is going to analyze it and figure it out and, try to break it down to its component part and make yourself crazy. It's spirit that flows through, and it's showing you what's real. You understand? And in order for you to see what's real, you have to be in a state of surrender, complete surrender inside. So everything I explained to Paula in the last question, if you do it, you'll have no trouble discerning. If you get into your head discerning, I mean, all the crap you read in the newspapers and people, police killing blacks, you understand? It just depends on who reads the article that determines what they believe or not. You understand? And it's all Maya, it's all an illusion. There was a little bit of spirit inside these people, nobody would get shot. Understand? If they were connected to spirit and that was guiding their life instead of prejudice and hate and anger and color and all this nonsense, you understand? Nobody would ever get shot that way. They would so consciously be able to discern what's real from what's not real and never commit acts like that. And can you imagine how much peace there would be in the world? If people didn't have to spend half their lives rebelling against all that insanity. So it's when that energy guides your life, Now, look, it's not going to guide the life of 7 billion people because most people spend 99% of their time in their heads, and most people live with anger, resentment, prejudice, But if you do what I'm talking about, it will open you so that you can even interact with those people and there can be some kind of connection. I mean, it's like, Christ said, turn the other cheek. Who's going to throw the first stone? It's been said for thousands of years now. The Buddha, the Buddha, one of the Buddha's disciples went to him and said, well, so-and-so, one of your disciples was just bit by a snake. And Buddha's response is, what did he do to the snake? And I think that's really profound. We complain that all this bullshit goes on. Meanwhile, we give off so much negative energy. And that's what we see is the negative quantity manifesting in front of us. And it's not complicated, it's simple. It's just building an inner life that one is capable of doing what I'm talking about. That's all it is, getting the chakra system strong and functioning on a very high level. Suddenly it all turns around. And discernment becomes an organic outgrowth of this. To see what's real, what's not real, how to interact with people, how to talk to people. And it also gets rid of fear. Which is a very good thing not to live with. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, I gave up 30 years ago trying to figure out what the hell is real in this world. I really did. Every time I have an opinion about, Stuart, chill. What do you know? What do you know? what do you know about anything? I don't know anything about anything. I just open to God and let that energy guide my life. And it seems to work, for God's sake. It really works. And I don't want to interfere with that. I just want it to continue to guide my life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? It guided me right here to be sitting with all of you and sharing these things. Has taken me so many years to learn with all of you. And I'm so grateful to do it, because you got to give it away. And you can only give it away to people that want to take it. You can't just go out on the street and get on some kind of soapbox and start preaching Kundalini yoga to the masses. It doesn't work. It's people that want it, and people are here that want it. And it's such a joy for me to do this. I don't have to discern anything. I just give it. And it really is a joy to give it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? There's just one other thing I have to mention. Try to show up for class on time. There are people, they come 2 minutes late, the class has already started. It would be a matter of coming 2 minutes sooner. I'm not asking for a lot. It just interrupts the class. And also just, anyway, God bless you all and thank you. And there'll be meditation on tomorrow evening. I hope you all can attend. If you know people that want to come, and they're welcome to attend, and they're always welcome to attend the classes. Just have them get in touch with me, please. Don't just bring them to the class. I mean this. Don't just bring them. Have them get in touch with me. I want to talk to them. I want to personally show them the exercise. And it's just a much better way of doing this thing. Okay, thank you. Bless you all. And I hope to see everybody tomorrow evening. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you
Thank you. Thank you, Stuart.
very
Bless
much.
you, Stuart.